That's not going to work for me though, is it, Sophie, not being on YouTube? I think I have to be by default, don't I? Okay, we're getting there.
All the videos are listed as unlisted, so only people with the link can watch them, if that helps.
Yeah, not sure if anybody without the link would want to watch them, but anyway. Okay, can everybody see that? We're good? Can I see some nods? Yeah, thank you so much. So again, yeah, thanks everybody for coming today. We're here today to talk about the Greater Manchester Social Care Academy. This is my plan. So just want to introduce you to who we are and what we do. I'm going to give you a bit of a sneak peek at our website, and I'm going to get some feedback from you. So there is a task to do in this session. It's not just listening. And then I'm going to kind of give a bit of a spotlight on some current offers and opportunities available from the Social Care Academy. So I'm thinking it's going to last about 45 minutes or that, and then some time for questions, but we'll see how we go. So first of all, this is us. This is our team. So sorry, just somebody else coming in. This is our team. So I've just bobbed us all on here all over the place because that's kind of how we work. We all support each other. Haven't put us in a big hierarchy because it's definitely not like one of those teams. So we've got our business support van. I'm education lead. We've got Rosie, who's going to talk in a moment. So she's our Step Into Care pre-employment program project manager. Priya works on that program with her, and then we have Annette Baines as our program manager, and Joe Finity, who's assistant director of the workforce for NHSGM, adult social care. Sorry. So I popped here. We've established in 2023. It's a bit hard to pinpoint an exact date when we first set up because we all kind of came into post at different times. But by September of last year, we were all in post. So really, the Social Care Academy, at the minute, it's a collection of different programs and projects that all support recruitment, retention and development of adult social care workforce in Greater Manchester. So as I said, we'll be talking about some of those projects in a bit more detail in a moment. But firstly, I'm just going to show you our website. We're going to be coming out and coming back in again because it's quite exciting. We've just had it handed over to us by the developer. So I'm going to share my screen. One second. There we go. Here we go. So it's under development. We're still working our way through WordPress to get all of our content on here. But I thought if I just show you what it's going to be like, we've got our new logo, the Social Care Academy. So there's an about section. So this is really to explain what the website is and hopes to do rather than the program as a whole. But we're here to support learning and development of anyone working across social care across our 10 localities. We also provide information, advice and guidance for anyone wishing to enter a job in adult social care across Greater Manchester. So also we hope to be a place where people can find training opportunities, information on career pathways, and also if you're a social care provider, then there'll be resources on here for you. Anything around kind of recruitment, retention, new ways of working, new roles, funding opportunities should be here. So this is what we hope to achieve, obviously, in Greater Manchester. We want a sustainable, flexible and integrated social care workforce. So having a team of people who can provide the best care and support for now and in the future. So we know that staff who feel supported, valued and equipped with the right skills are able to provide better care. So really want to be a place where people can come to get that information on those development opportunities. So we are part of the Adult Social Care Workforce Transformation Programme, supported by NHS Manchester and the Greater Manchester Integrated Care Partnership. I'm going to stop sharing and come back to the PowerPoint again. Sorry, it's a bit clunky. I'm going to go just a little bit more detail now onto what is going to be, what's going to be available on the website and what all the different sections are going to include. Just 1 second. Okay. There we go. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, sorry, something's gone wrong. A minute. Yeah, coming back now. Okay, so here. So we're going to obviously have front page will be kind of news and events, any opportunities that are coming up so that everyone can kind of see that on the front page. But in terms of kind of the different areas of the website, these are the things that we're going to include. Now, we know that kind of bits and pieces of this information can be found in lots of different places. But what we really want to try and do with our site is bring it all together, anything that's specific to adult social care in Greater Manchester, so that people don't have to be, searching around everywhere for the relevant information. So you can see, so we've got starting your career. So this is information for anyone who's interested in a career in social care. So the audience here is obviously people looking for work and also those that are supporting them. So for places like the DWP and different employment support organisations. So some really great resources here really on what opportunities there are. So we'll talk about the various routes in education, volunteering, entry-level roles, some tips into getting a job, talk about our pre-employment programme as well, which Rosie will talk about in a moment. We'll also link to some of those resources, the other resources that I've mentioned as well. So there's some great resources on the Skills for Care website that we're going to link to. Second section will be progressing your career. So again, for people looking to move into care so that they can see the progression opportunities available, but also for existing staff. So some career pathway information to demonstrate really the various directions a career in social care can take you. So again, we'll take some stuff from the Greater Manchester Learning Environments Guide. We'll do our own career profiles, more on that in a moment. Information on apprenticeships, new level 2 care certificate, all of that kind of thing. Coming on to training opportunities, I think this is really a key area of the website. So we'll talk again more about this in a moment, but we do currently have funding for training for adult social care in GM. But we've also spent some time in collating other training opportunities that are available and relevant, fully funded for adult social care. So we wanted to, it's going to be, continually updated, work in progress. So we have a really kind of good number of options for free training for adult social care. We also work really closely, obviously, with NHS England, the Cancer Academy, Dementia United, Age UK. Those are just a few. So there are often training opportunities that come up through them. So we've got great links there, so we can share those opportunities as they come up. Then we've got some workforce planning and recruitment. So any resources and tools for workforce planning. We recently delivered some workforce planning training for social care, which I think some of you might have been on. So we'll have toolkit from this training as well as other information. Yeah, and then in terms of teaching and training future care staff, We'll give an overview of kind of schools and college engagement. I think really what we want to do here is share some of the brilliant work that's going on in localities and linking in with colleges for others to learn from. Also some kind of careers guidance information for secondary school staff with the responsibility for careers, college tutors, really just to promote the sector, really just to let people know we're here and there are opportunities waiting. And some resources for delivering careers guidance sessions in schools, how to link in with providers. Sorry, Teams message. And then some information on international recruitment. So here we're going to have information for international recruits themselves, things around language, culture, support, information for providers as well, taking on international recruits, and resources for local authorities too. Okay, so that is just a bit of a snapshot on what we hope to include. Now, what I want to do, oops. Is let you give us some feedback now. So there's a link on the PowerPoint presentation there. Can you see the forms link? Could you please open that link and then just answer? There's just a few questions on there. We just thought we'd use this session to our advantage and get a little bit of advice and guidance on what we're planning for the website, because again, as I say, we're evolving all the time. Please, could you have a look on there, complete it, give us any guidance that you feel you'd like to give us. I'm going to be monitoring it as they come in. Brilliant. Thanks, Rosie. Rosie just put it in the chat as well. I think I should put a song on or something for the moment.
You could sing instead, Kay.
I could. I could do my Step Into Care song, couldn't I? Fabulous. Thanks so much, everybody. Oh, fab. 8 responses already. I love it.
Never thought about making people fill them in live. It's a bit weird. It's like you get to see it immediately whether people are engaging or not.
Don't worry, I won't be reading them all now, so don't worry, please.
No, I just mean it's a great way because you're giving people permission to do it whilst they're here, so they won't. Because normally they go, yeah, I'll do that at the end, and you never do because you never get the time. So actually doing it during, I bet you get a much better feedback rate. It's a good idea. I'm just saying it because I'm going to steal it, okay?
Steal away. It's just, yeah, you know, it's that getting feedback forms. It's a nightmare, isn't it? So, and we've got some brilliant people in the room today, so I'm going to grab you while I can. Brilliant, thank you. I think pretty much everyone's doing it or is in the middle of doing it. While you're finishing off, I'm just going to say, you know, all the support that we can get with our website is the better, because we just want to make sure that it's used now. We want to get it really good, a place where people can come. So please, we're going to be producing some social media posts. Please share them. We are looking for career journeys as well. So we've got some great journeys in the team of people who've started in frontline care roles and now working on these programs. So anybody that you think could provide a great career journey, please share. We're going to be getting some posters for care homes so that we can put our posters up in lunch areas, kitchens, anywhere that staff are going to congregate, so that they know they've got somewhere to come if they're interested in any development or training opportunities. Brilliant. I'm going to move on. So, oh, sorry, this looks a bit strange, Rachel. Hopefully you can read it still. So I'm gonna
to me.
I'm gonna hand over to Rachel now, so you'll get a break from me. So she's gonna talk to you a little bit about the work that she's been doing in partnership with the Social Care Academy. Thanks, Rachel.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'll just take 5 minutes of your time just to fill you in about some of the allied health profession projects that we're doing across social care in Greater Manchester. So I'm Rachel Hemingway. I'm a Greater Manchester AHP workforce lead, and I'm working with the Social Care Academy until the end of July. And I'm working specifically on this first project on the slide, which is about finding out about all the allied health professions who are working in social care across Greater Manchester. And so I'm seeking to, by the end of the project, have a better understanding for all of us in GM about who they are, what they do. I'm going to share examples of innovation and excellent practice, and I'll have a plan about how to develop and support the workforce going forward. And of course, that's going to be done in sort of co-production and in partnership with the people who really know about this and who are doing the doing every day. So I'm connecting with occupational therapists, physios, art therapists, and other AHPs who have social care roles, working in GM councils, care homes, day centres, and in people's homes. So I think the only ask of you today for this is that if you're interested to hear more about it, if you think that you've got something to contribute to this, then use that QR code to get in touch with me. It's just a really, really simple form that gives me your contact details, and I'll also put my email address in the chat after this. The second project is called the Higher Development Award, and we've been working on developing this training for support workers in health and social care across Greater Manchester. And what it is a 6-month training programme. The support workers attend 1 day a week in college, and during that day they learn about communication skills, emotional intelligence. They learn about some leadership skills and also some service improvement capability as well, and it really builds the support workers' self-confidence. But what they do alongside it is that they develop their functional skills if they need to, or digital, or English for speakers of another language. And so by the end of the 6-month programme, they're really empowered to either do the job that they're currently doing to the best of their ability, or possibly to go be ready for further study or training. And at the moment, we've got a cohort in Wigan, at Wigan College. We've got a cohort at Manchester College. And again, if you think this could be something that's helpful for your staff, and it doesn't matter if you're private, voluntary sector or local authority, then again, get in touch with me and I can put you in touch with the programme leads in Wigan and Manchester. We hope to roll it out to other colleges across GM as well. And then the final thing is a really interesting project going on in Oldham. And this is where some of the allied health profession and social care leads in Oldham, working across health and social care, have got a project to enable care home staff to support residents with therapy tasks. And so what they're doing is they're putting a lot of training into the care homes in the Oldham area. So stuff around falls, around managing walking aids, around bone health, foot health, communication, swallowing, malnutrition, dehydration. So all the areas that we work in as AHPs. So through this, they're upskilling the staff in the care homes, meaning that they can then support their residents to be more independent, to have better control over their own lives, but hopefully at the same time developing those care home staff to, you know, in their skills and knowledge, and possibly for them to have an interest in an AHP career in future. So that's it in a very brief nutshell. Please get in touch with me if you'd like to hear more.
I think Caroline had a question, Rachel.
Yeah.
I can't get the QR code to work.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to connect with you, please.
Thanks so much, Caroline. I'll put my email address in the chat now. Sorry if the QR code's not working. That's not much good, is it? Okay, thanks, Caroline.
Thank you, Rachel. And am I right in thinking for that higher development award, Rachel, that it might be an option for kind of people that have come from overseas who maybe can't access other funding?
Yeah, so because it's Adult Education Board funded, you do still need to have been in the country for 3 years. So sometimes there's a workaround, but it's quite difficult to get that workaround. So ideally, yes, if they've come from overseas, international recruits, they do need to have been in the country for 3 years. But still get in touch if that's not the case. And I know the colleges try and find a workaround where they can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay. So, have a look. Okay, so I'm going to just talk a little bit now about our other offers. So one of the first things that we set up was a pilot with Manchester Adult Education. And again, that's using Adult Education budget. So we were looking at basically the issue of registered managers, the fact that we've got kind of a potential shortfall in registered managers over the coming years. So we wanted to pilot a program that was going to support existing managers, could be registered managers, could be leaders, to then support aspiring managers and leaders, either within their own service or with a sister service. So it was, yeah, very popular on the expressions of interest. We had about 39 expressions of interest for this one. And then 11 enrolled, and we've got 9 on the programme. So I think that's interesting, isn't it? Obviously demonstrates that there is an interest in that learning and development, and people do want to, but obviously we know the difficulties in committing to something, especially when this is, you know, it's a certificate, so it's a level 2, so it does require some commitment. So they're just going through that course now. So that's an evening course. So 2 learners have given a presentation to their senior management at work about setting up a full mentoring program in their place of work, which I think is really positive income. And then we have seen, well, the tutor has fed back loads of kind of improvements in kind of digital written presentation skills. So they've got their first mentoring session after next half term. And so we're really looking forward to see what happens of that. And obviously I've just put attendance there because I think that's the only challenge, really. Everyone's really engaged and committed, but obviously busy lives and busy jobs can be an issue, which we know. The other thing I wanted to talk about is our partnership with Greater Manchester Training Hub. So Sarah's here from the Training Hub. She's been delivering all of this training. So first offer that we've developed with Greater Manchester Training Hub is making every contact count for mental health. So this is a train the trainer model. So I think on each one there's between 20 and 30 capacity for people to come on this course, depending on size of training room. And so what we're looking for is individuals from care coming on the programme, getting trained up, and then taking this training back to their workplaces. So obviously this kind of can have a dual impact. So obviously it's that mental health support for the people that they're working with, that kind of recognising and then referring on, but then also has benefits in terms of workforce well-being. So we've had a really positive kind of locality partnership approach so far. So I know Caroline from Wigan, you're on the call. So we've delivered one in Wigan, one in Thameside, one in Bury, and then upcoming dates are Manchester in July, another Bolton one in July, and then we have other dates that need to be filled, and we've actually got other training dates actually available. So if it's something that you're interested in having in your locality, then please get in contact with us after this. Just a bit of a flavour of some of the feedback, and you'll get all the slides and everything afterwards. But just want to say this was from the Wigan course. It was really, really well received. Lots of compliments for you on there, Sarah. And just like this comment about having potential to make a difference, which is really good. So that spurs us on to keep going. Wonder if this QR code will work. So this is an offer that's currently out, medicines management, sorry. So first sessions are going to be in July. So this has already been advertised. This is what it's going to cover: some legislation, types of medication uses, safe administration, accurate record keeping. Please book onto that. I mean, I think we're pretty much full for the first couple of sessions by the sound of it, Sarah. When I went out about feedback for this training, I think I got about 50 responses. So we know that medicine is a huge need.
Just keep signing it up, because the more people we've got interested, the more we can push for more sessions. So yeah, please share it. It is popular.
Definitely. And then if you have a look, so I'm not going to open that link because it takes too much time coming back and forth. But we've got a whole host of training there on the Greater Manchester Training Hub website that's available for social care. So have a look at that link in your own time. There's stuff that's already there from other training providers, freely available, and just bits and pieces that we've found. So please have a look and see if there's anything that's useful on there. There's also a form on there so you can feedback if there's any particular bits of training that you feel is needed. We want to be responsive, so definitely keep in touch with us on all of that. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Sarah now to talk a little bit about the CPD training.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't aware, we were awarded some monies from what was Health Education England, now NHSE, to look at some continuing professional development for the clinically registered workforce across social care and GM. The aim of this training was to try and reduce avoidable hospital admissions where possible, and obviously improve career development and retention of staff within the social care sector. Discussions with various stakeholders was that they would prefer to look at, oh, my slide's gone. Well, 2 seconds and I can share my version of it. Has Kay just dropped off?
I think so, yeah. Can you get the slides up, Sarah?
Yeah, I've got
Or do you
them.
want me to?
No, I've got them here. Well, I've got my version of it. It's not quite the same, but it'll do. 2 seconds. The right side.
Oh, she's back now.
Apologies.
No, it's all right.
You can continue to talk, Sarah, I'm sure, on what you do.
Well, I did. Yeah, I was going to put the slide back up because I didn't know if people wanted the slide up, but
I'll do it for you while you're
go on then.
talking.
You do it. So yeah, after discussion with the stakeholders I was already working with around placements, they would all, obviously everyone prefers face-to-face, but recognizing just the vast amount of topics that were required, that had been requested, they knew they wouldn't be able to release their staff to do it. So we went for a bit of a blended learning approach. So where learning could be done without hands-on workshop type, we went for sort of an online blended approach. And for areas that did require hands-on sort of simulation kind of work, we went for that face-to-face approach, which just meant we could save a bit of money on room bookings and things like that. I'll just wait for you to get to the page because
It's coming.
I've lost my train of thought now. Yes, so from that, we were given a list of topics that we had to, that we were encouraged to cover by what was Health Education England at the time. And those topics we have, those topics we've decided to focus on in alignment with was around wound management, long-term condition management, oral hygiene, nutrition, hydration and swallowing, frailty and dementia, and they're all various different programs. So wound management will obviously be a workshop that's starts in a few weeks. We've had lots of interest already. Long-term condition management is an online, very engaging online program. It's not your typical death by PowerPoint e-learning. It's full of videos and interactability and quizzes all the way through to keep it entertaining. What I found quite good was it's very, very in-depth, but not too in-depth. And it also sort of takes you through normal anatomy and physiology before going into sort of the deep dive into the condition. So the first long-term condition that's covered is around COPD and acute exacerbations of, as that's one of the highest causes of avoidable admissions within long-term condition management. The next topic will be around diabetes, but what the work the lady's doing, who is the educators pulling together, is around how diabetes then impacts cardiovascular, renal, etc. So it's really excellent training there. We've got oral hygiene, which has already been rolled out and funded in half of the localities in GM, but it wasn't very equitable. So we've worked really closely with the Mouth Care Matters and oral hygiene teams in all 10 localities, and the 5 that currently do it are supporting the 5 that don't, and that's being funded through the CPD monies to ensure that all 10 localities are getting equitable access to oral hygiene training, because obviously, you know, it's not just about clean mouths. You know, there's a huge risk of chest infections and infections within the gums that can track down into the heart, which cause long-term condition issues as well. So it's amazing how complicated it can get from just not having good oral hygiene knowledge and awareness. Nutrition, that's a workshop, face-to-face workshop. The nutrition, hydration and swallowing is being run by Age UK Salford and the Northern Care Alliance speech and language practitioners, and that's going to be a workshop that we're currently rolling out. I think the first one is in about 3 weeks' time, and that seems to be going down really well. We're getting a lot of interest in that. Frailty is a 2-hour online live webinar with a frailty specialist. That starts next week. There's been lots of interest for that. That one can be run online because there's not really any workshop stuff, but it's live, so you can ask a specialist further questions if there's anything that you want clarity on. And dementia, the current dementia offer is being done with Age UK Salford around the Empowering Conversations training. So that's 3 1.5-hour training sessions, 1 per week as a programme for 3 weeks, to really look at how communication impacts one's ability to communicate properly, inability to communicate, how that impacts an individual, and how it can lead to a rise in unwanted behaviours, which is not the appropriate language we like to use, because it's not a behaviour, it's a response to a negative stimuli, and because they can't communicate what that negative stimuli is, it becomes off as an unwanted behaviour, which is not the case. We need to understand our client base a little bit more, so teaching you how to communicate with those that can't communicate and how to support them in achieving what they need to have. And because it's running 3, she gives lots of information for you to try out for the first week, and in the second week there's a lot of peer-to-peer discussion and reflection around how that's worked, and then some more training given, and then you go away and come back again. So it's very interactive. It's got a lot of reflection and self-directed sort of reflection on yourself and your care. And then we've got 2 clinical skills that we're also offering across the patch, and that's around urinary catheterisation, being run by the GM Cancer Academy. It involves 3 online e-learning modules hosted by Manchester Met University. Once they've been completed, those delegates can then register for a skills lab. So the GM Cancer Academy will come out to the home or a place nearby, training area nearby, to run simulation sessions and work through competency-based assessments. And again, venipuncture is a blended learning approach where delegates would only within areas where venipuncture is supported. Venipuncture, you would get your own vein in the a vein to use. It sounds really daft, but it's in a cardboard box with a vein. But it's about learning how to manipulate and really get used and comfortable to using the kit before you go near an arm. It's a very different sort of outlook, and it means that the delegate can do it at their own pace, at their own speed, and be able to practice in a safe space without feeling that they've only got 3 hours to get through everything. So yeah, that's an offer, and then obviously the GM Cancer Academy will run Skills Lab to be able to do those assessments with them. And obviously we're trying to offer those within localities rather than basing everything in Manchester, for example, and having everyone travel in. We're aware that when we're doing face-to-face, it's very difficult for social care people who work in social care to be travelling all over the place to get to place, as with anyone. No one wants to travel if they don't have to. So we're trying to hold them close by, and a lot of the homes are offering their training areas for us to hold those. So it's great. Another part of the work that we do at Greater Manchester Training Hub is around supporting those healthcare professional learners with their clinical learning environments. Over the past 12 months, we've increased our learning environments by nearly 50%, with the work of our amazing Lauren, who's been in the post for the past sort of 9 months now. We work with all the universities and all different pre-reg learners. So this is our pre-reg learning. Obviously, Kay's going to talk to you about colleges. So we've got a lot of pilots happening across Greater Manchester. We're looking at dietitians and pharmacists within the care homes, and the impact that those learners are making whilst they're on placements is phenomenal. We're trying lots of new placement models, looking around interprofessional learning within social care, so having small MDTs of learners coming together and looking at case studies with the residents within the home and supporting them to achieve individualised goals. And we've recently been shortlisted for our Smile placement in Stockport for the GM Health and Care Champion Award for Collaboration, where we're looking at the Stockport Multi-Professional Integrated Learning Experience, where we're working social care, primary care, community-based teams, third sector and voluntary organisations, looking at all the different services that are available that surround the individual in that neighbourhood, and how all the different professions can work together to support that individual within that neighbourhood to prevent them from needing to use the hospital and being kept within an area of their own preference, which is what we all try to do in social care, which is fabulous. So yeah, we've been doing lots of work at the moment over this past 12 months. It's been really exciting, but absolutely exhausting. I'll shut up now. It's only one slide. I'm knackered.
Packed a lot into that one slide. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Much.
Sorry for sorry for my tech problem. I think Rosa, you had your hand up, did you?
Yes, Victoria's just put a question in the chat around the training offers on the Training Hub and whether it's available to mental health staff in NHS trusts.
I mean, there will be some, yeah.
So some of the stuff that's freely available anyway, that you'll find on the website, is for them, but the funded training from Health Education England is specifically for social care, unfortunately. However, if you show an interest in the spaces, then you may be lucky and be able to fit one of those empty spaces, but we're not offering it directly to NHS based workers because you do have access to your own CPD and training within the trust. But yeah, and I'll pop my email address in, but thank you very much. There's lots more going on as well, but it's only one slide.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm just going to hand over to Rosie now to talk a little bit about Step Into Care, which a lot of you all will have heard about, but there have been some new developments recently.
Thanks, Kay. Hi, everyone. So as Kay said, my name's Rosie and I'm part of the Social Care Academy team along with Kay. More specifically, I'm the project manager for Step Into Care. You may already be aware, Step Into Care is a Greater Manchester-wide pre-employment training programme to help people that are interested in starting their career in adult social care. It's been up and running since May 2020, and 85% of candidates that complete the training and placement part of the programme are offered employment. So the programme's split into a few different sections, one of which is 5 weeks of training that's provided by WEA, and the other section is a placement with a reputable adult social care provider. Currently, the training element covers the theory elements of the care certificate to give people a really good introduction into the adult social care sector. But we wanted to build on the fantastic work that Step Into Care has already done and help to possibly progress people that have already worked in adult social care or already have a qualification in adult social care. So we're developing a partnership with the Growth Company to offer a level 2 certificate in preparing to work in adult social care. So what I can do is pop my contact contact details into the chat. If anyone's interested in hearing more about the programme, or more specifically, if you're aware of any employers with care vacancies that can support the programme any further, then I'm happy to help.
Fabulous. Thanks very much, Rosie. And I think I was just going to talk about some future opportunities. So hold on a minute, let me just change my view. So that's kind of what's going on now in terms of kind of planning ahead. So obviously there's the National Adult Social Care Workforce Strategy. So we'll shortly be out for engagement based on the outputs from the sector expert groups, the work with Skills for Care and the King's Fund. Sector expert groups give some indication of priorities, recruit and retain, integration, new ways of working and multidisciplinary teams, leadership, prevention, develop and train. So it will align, I think, with the NHS long-term workforce plan. Career pathways, so new care workforce pathways describes 4 levels and what responsibilities, knowledge, skills and behaviours people are likely to undertake, show and do at each level. So this describes social care specific roles, and we need to really consider how this fits in a broader health and social care context to support integration, flexibility and movement across the sector for clearer employment journeys for people. There's the Greater Manchester Combined Authorities, education, skills and work activity and opportunities. So focus on the educational offer and future workforce and career planning and supply, developing technical career pathways into health and care. There's a retention plan focusing on the experience of our health and care people and integrated roles, and supporting the alignment and delivery of the long-term workforce plan. In terms of apprenticeships, this is something that we'd really like to do more work on in the future. So obviously it's an enabler to upskilling and career progression. So where there are more opportunities to scale up apprenticeships, feedback suggests that challenge across social care is the cost of backfill. So looking at, can this be addressed through new training grants? And then we've got equality, diversity, inclusion, and the workforce race equality work. So lessons from the RES piloted across a number of local authorities nationally. So how could this support us to ensure that our recruitment, learning and development is inclusive? So those are just some of the things that we're looking at for future priorities. Brilliant. So if there are any other areas you feel the Social Care Academy should be looking at going forward, then again, please get in touch. I know everyone's put their emails in the chat. I've also got them at the end of the slides. If anybody's interested in providing us with a career profile, I've got another form, so many forms this time. There's one there if you're interested, but we'll share at the end as well. And then, of course, I'm going to try and get a QR code in that works, fingers crossed. So this is if you'd like to hear more about news, developments, this is the form to fill in if you want to get information direct to your inbox. Won't bombard you, no more than 1 email a week, hopefully stuff that you're interested in. Brilliant. So that's 13:46 and I said about 45 minutes, didn't I? So we're pretty much on the ball. Has anybody got any feedback or has anybody got any questions for us?